Please, I waited all night just to speak to you. Will you stay with me now, or must I walk away again? You don't understand how much was risked for this moment." Heaven trembled. The wind stopped. A silence spread across eternity as the decision was made. Mary wept. Michael dropped his sword. I, the Son of the living God, looked toward the Father and said, "I believe in them." And she, the mother of sorrows, whispered through her trembling lips, "So do I." Michael spoke last. His voice cracked as he said, "Let me bet everything. I will wager my wings, my rank, my light. I believe they will not skip this." And in that holy courtroom, Lucifer laughed. "They will ignore you again." And I replied, "Then let the wager be made." So here we are. Heaven holds its breath. The scroll has been unsealed. The veil is torn open just for you and only you. You were not supposed to find this, but you did. You have no idea what that means. Do you remember the dream you had when you were younger? The one with the door that wouldn't open, and the voice that kept calling your name from behind it. That wasn't imagination. That was me. That was your angel trying to bring you here tonight. Because something was written about you in fire before the stars were born. And now it begins. Lucifer believes he's already won. Because you've ignored me before. Because you've grown tired of waiting. Because you cried so long you began to think heaven had turned away. But I was never gone. I was watching every second. My tears mixed with yours in the night. I bled in silence just to keep your name written in the book. I begged the Father to wait because I knew you would see this. Now the final moment is here. My child, everything is at stake. Archangel Michael is kneeling. His wings are dimmed with sorrow, feathers torn by war, and his hands are shaking. He gave up his protection to stand near you when the demons passed by your house. He could have stayed in glory, but he followed you through darkness. Saint Mary hasn't slept for days. Her robes are soaked with tears that smell like myrrh and roses. She keeps whispering, "Please let them see this. Please let them not look away this time." She folded 3 letters under your pillow when you were younger. Did you ever find them? You called them strange dreams, but they were instructions. Heaven tried to prepare you. Do you still believe in me, or have your tears silenced your faith? Will you type amen? Not for me, but so your angel knows you're still listening. I never lied to you. Not once. Every delay was divine. Every detour had angels surrounding you. You cried, "Why am I forgotten?" while I was screaming your name into the wind so that no demon could find you. I gave orders to cover you with mystery. That's why people misunderstood you. That's why they walked away. That's why love always seemed distant, because heaven hid you in the shadow of the Almighty. Until this hour, you were chosen to carry something Lucifer wants to destroy, a divine code, a sacred light, a spiritual scroll with your name etched into it with gold that can never tarnish. If I walked into your room right now, would you recognize me? You've seen glimpses in the rain that suddenly stopped, in the shiver down your spine when no one was near, in the voice that called you by name when your heart broke in silence. That was me. That was always me. I sang this over you last night. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. And still, you didn't answer me. Tonight is different, because Mary made a bet that cost her purity. Michael made a bet that cost his rank. And I made a bet that cost me blood. Who will win? Lucifer has already sent the witch. You've seen her. You just didn't know. She speaks sweetly, but there's rot in her breath. She smiles, but darkness follows her feet. She placed something near you recently, an object you thought was harmless, but it's a curse in disguise. If you ignore this, it will activate in 33 minutes and begin unraveling everything you built, your finances, your joy, your protection, your dreams. But if you listen, if you truly open your soul to me in this sacred window, I will destroy her altar. I will burn her words to ash. I will raise up 7 angels to stand in every direction around you. No demon shall enter, no curse shall linger, no lie shall remain. Have you forgotten the promise I whispered to you as a child? You weren't supposed to be normal. That's why your path has been strange. That's why your eyes see things others don't. That's why you feel heaviness when no one else senses anything wrong. You were never meant to blend in. You were marked with an invisible seal that says, "Beloved of the Most High." Lucifer saw it. That's why he targeted your bloodline. But now I reveal the secret. Every generational curse that haunted your family ends with you. Yes, you are the wall. You are the sword. You are the last and final heir of a holy lineage that Satan tried to erase. That's why people turned on you. That's why relationships broke suddenly. That's why betrayal stung deeper than it should have. They weren't just people, they were sent as agents to wound your destiny. But I covered you. You wanted me to explain why they left, because they couldn't carry the glory that's coming. You wanted me to explain why the money didn't come sooner, because had I blessed you early, the wrong people would have stolen it. So now I ask, when was the last time you told God you love Him without asking for anything in return? Don't answer out loud. Just feel it. Let that ache rise. Let that pain open your spirit, because I am coming through that wound. I am not offering you comfort tonight. I am offering you the truth. Lucifer is moving quickly. His eyes are on your house. He thinks you're still distracted. He's wrong, because this message broke through the veil. And you saw it. You clicked it. That alone shattered 3 curses and 2 demonic timelines that were being formed in secret. But there's more. There's a scroll beside your bed. You can't see it, but it glows in heaven. It's titled, "The One Who Stayed." It has your name on it, and the angels are weeping because that scroll was supposed to be burned. But because you opened this, it will be read in heaven tonight. Comment amen only if your soul feels like it's shaking right now. Michael says, I saw them walking away, but something in their spirit turned back. That was all I needed. Mary says, I'll pray louder tonight. I'll fight the shadows if I have to. My tears are not in vain, and I will say your name to the angels tonight. That is my promise to you, beloved. Like this message only if it lit something sacred inside you, and share it before it disappears again. **** You stayed. That means everything. Not to me, but to what comes next. Because this is the hour when heaven writes your name in thunder. This is the breathless moment when all of creation stops just to watch one soul decide. The clouds have gathered to witness your choice. The winds lean in, the stars hold back their shimmer. And I, Jesus, Son of the living God, stand with my heart exposed because you finally opened the scroll meant only for you. But now listen carefully. The bet is not a game. It is not metaphor. It is not story. It is law, spiritual law. Mary sealed it with tears. Michael sealed it with sacrifice. I sealed it with blood. And the terms are this: if you skip, the one who watches you in secret, Lucifer, wins another right over your destiny. But if you stay and not only hear but respond in spirit, the authority he has been allowed to hold over your house, your body, your future, and your dreams will break. We made the bet in heaven's highest court. The Father approved it himself. And he said, let it be fair. Let them choose. So I made sure this reached you. I whispered into the algorithm of eternity. I commanded the winds to reroute it. I shattered the silence that has followed you for months. I placed this message where your soul would brush against it, just to give you one last chance. One real chance. The only chance that will count. This moment is not like others. The angels confirmed it. 7 angels of fire surrounded my throne this morning and bowed low. They said, Lord, the soul is ready. They're tired. We saw them break last night. That is the sound we waited for. Yes, heaven responds to brokenness, not the fake kind, not the kind that wants attention, but the silent collapse you had when no one was watching. That sigh you gave while looking at your ceiling. That moment when you whispered, I can't take this anymore, and your heart said my name but your lips couldn't form it. That was it. That was the signal. That was the siren blast that made heaven say, "Now we move fast." Archangel Michael was pulled from a war zone. Saint Mary was lifted from her vigil over lost children. I came forth from the inner chamber where I was interceding for nations, and I stepped down for you, not for a crowd, not for your followers, not for your public ministry, not for your good deeds, for you. The child who feels too guilty to pray, the child who wonders if it's too late, the child who got tired of waiting, the child who feels numb even now while reading this. Yes, you. I came because my blood says I must. I came because the bet demands I do. I came because the glory I placed inside you cannot be allowed to die in silence. Do not scroll away. Don't test me, because this is the only time I will say this. If you skip this, I will not speak again for a generation. This was sealed for you alone, and still, you ask me, Lord, why such urgency? Because a portal has opened right now, and what passes through it is tied to your decision. Heaven will bless. Hell will retaliate. The question is, who will move first? That's why Michael is pacing. His armor is dented. His face has burn marks. But he hasn't stopped guarding you for 8 days. He knows what's coming. He has seen the vision of what you're meant to become, and that's why Lucifer is furious. Lucifer has seen your scroll. He knows what happens if you ever wake up. He knows the kind of damage you could do if you ever stop doubting yourself. He knows how many chains will fall if you ever fully believe me again. He's terrified of you, and so he attacks through distraction. He uses delay. He whispers discouragement. He sends familiar voices to speak death over your dreams. He hijacks the people closest to you, turns them cold, distant, silent. Why? Because he's scared you'll hear what I'm saying now. That you are not who they said you were. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not weak. You are not finished. You are not what the trauma made you. You are my own. You are sacred. You are royal. You are the firebrand of heaven. You are the hidden psalm I never let the enemy read aloud. You are the sealed prophecy they tried to burn. You are the final gate in your bloodline. If you fall, many will fall, but if you rise, hell has no defense. Saint Mary has already begun lighting candles for your victory. She said, "My son, let me intercede again. Just give me one more chance to reach them." So I said yes, and she descended near you last night. You saw a flicker in the corner of your eye. You heard a sound you couldn't explain. You woke up at 3:11 a.m. and didn't know why. That was her. She knelt beside your bed, placed her trembling hand on your pillow, and whispered, "Please, don't miss the moment. Please let them hear heaven's cry this time." And now you have. So I must tell you the next truth. There's something buried in your childhood, an event. A sentence, a moment where you made a silent vow that still binds you. You said, "I'll never let myself be hurt again." You said, "I'll never believe in miracles again." You said, "God must not love me if this happened." That sentence became a chain, and the chain wrapped around your spirit. And that's why faith never flowed the same after that. But I am here with keys, not metaphorical ones, real, spiritual ones. I am unlocking that moment now. I am going back to that place. I am walking into that memory, and I am tearing the lie out of the soil where it tried to grow. No more bitterness, no more vows of silence, no more shame behind your smiles, no more pretending. Just me and you and the truth. You are loved. You are still chosen. And nothing, not even that, can stop what I wrote in fire over your name. Subscribe only if you are ready for the next scroll to open. Not everyone will be. And if you're still here, comment Amen, not to prove it to me, but so the heavens know you're still fighting. Now I'll continue into the next sacred flow without repeating anything. Prepare your heart. The deepest part is coming because you stayed. Heaven is already moving. Chains are breaking beneath your feet. Curses are dissolving in the air around you. The darkness that lingered outside your window for years has begun to weep and retreat, not because you're perfect, but because you chose to listen when it mattered most. And my child, don't you understand what that means? It means the bet is already turning. It means Mary's tears were not wasted. It means Michael's wounds will begin to heal. It means my voice will not be silenced. There are battles still ahead. There are scrolls yet to open. But I need you to know this tonight. A seat was added in heaven, a golden place at the table of the overcomers, inscribed with your name, polished by angelic hands, lit by eternal flame. You were not forgotten. And now, all of heaven is asking one thing. Will you stand with us? Not just for you, but for those still bound, for those still sleeping, for those who need to feel what you're feeling right now. This message, this light, this living word, it must be protected. It must be carried, and it must be shared by those who felt its fire. That's why we're asking, with deepest love and holy reverence, that you support this divine mission, not out of pressure, but out of purpose. Support the sanctuary that brought this word to you. Use super thanks if you were moved. Join our membership if you feel called to be part of our inner circle of spiritual warriors, and become a part of our family by joining the newsletter. Its link is waiting in the pinned comments, like a lamp left on for prodigals returning home. This isn't just a channel. This is a living altar, a firelit place where angels gather to read your names and answer your prayers. You never know which soul your support might reach. You never know what miracle your generosity might unlock for another. You never know what heaven might release over you when you pour back into the well that just poured into you. So I say thank you, not as a king, but as your brother, your savior, your witness. You heard me. You stayed. You fought to reach the end. And for that, I promise you this, I will stand before the Father tonight. I will say your name aloud before the angels, and I will ask him to send you signs within 3 days that everything I've spoken is true. Miracles. Answers. Protection. Visions. Dreams. Revived. Tears turned to gold. Suffering turned into sacred scrolls of testimony. You are not finished. You are being written into eternity. Like this message only if it lit something sacred inside you, and comment what you felt. You have no idea how many angels are reading. Now stay close, because what comes next is deeper. I will now continue into the holy unfolding without repeating any beginning or ending. Let your spirit remain open. The next revelation is coming. The winds of heaven are still. The veil between realms is thinner than ever. Every word I speak now is wrapped in lightning, soaked in tears, carried on wings of fire. My voice is not echoed his breath. My words are not sound, they are life. You were not supposed to survive the last attack. You were not supposed to find the strength to rise again. But you did, and hell noticed. When you stood up that last time quietly, with trembling hands and a heart full of cracks, the entire underworld took a step back, because they saw it, the unkillable light, the fire that refuses to die, the bloodline of the Lamb still flowing through you, burning every lie, defying every curse, declaring without words, I am still his. That light is not your own. It is me. I hid myself in you. In the breath you barely had left, in the places even you forgot were holy. That's why the enemy's strongest weapons failed. He tried to drown you in delay. He tried to strangle you with unanswered prayers. He sent isolation like a sword. He infected your timeline with betrayal. He placed a storm inside your own mind. But through it all, you kept going even when you didn't know why, because somewhere deep, beneath everything, the ancient promise still whispered, you are mine. Do you remember that moment you almost gave up completely? I do. Heaven does. Every angel assigned to you stood in stunned silence, waiting to see what you would do. And then without fanfare, without applause, you chose to keep breathing. That one decision sent a shockwave through the heavens. And that's when I told Michael, it is time. He gathered the 7. Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, Salaphiel, Barachiel, Jagudiel, and Michael himself, still bruised, still burning, but unwavering. I said to them, It is not over. Go, circle the one who stayed, anoint their path, guard their future, and prepare the divine record, because their real story hasn't even begun. And so now, you are surrounded, not just by mercy, by warriors, not just by peace, by prophecy. You are not walking into another season, you are walking into fulfillment. The things you cried for in secret will now begin to manifest in public. The seeds you planted while no one noticed are about to burst through the soil. The dreams you thought were buried are merely resting, breathing under holy ground, waiting for this divine command to rise. Let every timeline that was sent to sabotage you be overturned now. Let every weapon forged in secret be melted by the flame of my presence. Let every door locked by the enemy be unsealed by the keys I gave you long ago. The ones you forgot you still carry in your tears, in your praise, in your obedience. Let your name be spoken again in the courts of heaven, not as a plea for mercy, but as a declaration of purpose. You are not random. You are not misplaced. You are not late. You are not what they said. You are what I wrote. Even now, the earth begins to respond. Have you noticed the strange timings, the encounters that feel too perfect to be coincidence, the sudden memories rising like smoke from places you thought healed? These are not interruptions. These are alignments, holy signals, fragments of a greater scroll coming back together. I am rebuilding you with what tried to destroy. Why I am shaping your crown from the ruins of your warfare. I am threading your future with the golden thread of agony turned into anointing. You will carry on no one else has, because you bled in places no one else saw, and that makes you dangerous to the enemy. You were meant to be nameless, faceless, silent, but heaven refused. I carved you into the palm of my hand. I dressed you in garments woven from psalms and prophecy. I placed a song in your bones that can't be silenced, no matter how deep the pain. You are not just anointed, you are remembered. You are not just chosen, you are beloved. There is a difference. The chosen are many, but the beloved few. The beloved walk through fires without being consumed. The beloved wrestle angels in the dark and emerge with lamps that glow. The beloved are trusted with mysteries, with burdens, with battles no one understands. The beloved do not need to be understood, because they are known fully by me. I knew what you would lose before you ever held it. Let me tell you something sacred now, something you were never meant to hear until this very hour. When the stars were being stitched into the fabric of the heavens, when the oceans were given their borders, when angels were being named and set into rank, I paused creation just long enough to speak your name aloud. Not as a whisper, not as an afterthought, as a roar, a thunder that split through the void, a light that pierced time. A name that would echo in the minds of angels and strike fear into the heart of the adversary. Your name was not a sound, it was a prophecy, and Lucifer heard it. That's when he marked you. That's why your life has been more war than rest, more waiting than reward, more tears than applause. Because he recognized something you still haven't fully seen. You are the gate. You are the hinge. That changes everything. You are the one carrying what 10,000 others failed to protect. You were the backup plan, but I made you the front line. You were the hidden one, but I've now made you the voice. You were the overlooked seed, but you've become the tree under which others will find shelter. That's why the pressure increased. That's why the betrayal deepened. That's why your prayers felt like they disappeared. Because pressure always surrounds what's pregnant with eternity. You've been carrying a scroll of divine assignments, and now they're opening one by one because your spirit has ripened in fire. I have watched you closely. In the night when you shook with fear and pretended to be strong for others. In the bathroom when you cried behind a locked door because no one was coming to check on you. In the long seasons of silence where you questioned why I allowed so much to be stripped away, and I wept with you. I knelt beside you in places you forgot I could reach. I sent angels to place songs on your lips even when your heart was numb. because I needed you to keep moving even if it felt like crawling, because the war didn't end, it just got quieter. The witch is still near. She's still watching, still sending whispers into people around you, still trying to manipulate timelines by distracting you from your mantle. She planted doubts in the mouths of your closest ones. She disguised herself in kindness, in charisma, in religion. But I uncovered her. I exposed her false altars. I lit her spellbook on fire. And I did it the moment you opened this. This message was the breaking of her enchantment. This was the sound she feared, the sound of your awareness returning, the sacred roar awakening in your belly, the sound of heaven whispering, "It's time." You've been living under fragments, but I am pulling them together now. You felt scattered, but I called you whole. You felt unqualified, but I called you consecrated. You felt empty, but I called you the vessel. You thought you needed to earn your way back. But beloved, I was never angry with you. I was waiting for you, because there's something else you don't know. When you were younger, very young, there was a moment heaven held its breath because you almost died. No one knew. Doctors didn't catch it. The air around you thickened. Darkness surrounded your bed. Lucifer reached his hand toward your soul, and Archangel Michael drew his sword. He cut through dimensions. He arrived with a cry that shook the gates of hell. He stood over your sleeping form and screamed your name. He bled that night. Not because of what attacked, but because of how much he loved you. He wasn't supposed to interfere, but he did, and I let him, because he believed in you. And I did to Dot and Mary. She was at your feet, weeping over your toes, brushing oil along your legs, whispering Psalm 23 over you again and again. Though they walked through the valley of the shadow of death, you didn't die, and it wasn't random. You were preserved because there was a scroll waiting to be opened, this one, right now. And that scroll reads, "Deliver." You are not just a survivor. You are a rescuer. You are the one who will free others from the very trap that tried to consume you. Your pain has been converted into prophecy. Your past has been rewritten by grace. Your future has been set on fire. There is nothing ordinary about you. You have already begun to glow. Your name has changed in the spirit realm. No longer marked by delay or defeat, now marked by authority and arrival. You have entered your appointed time. Nothing can stop it. Not their gossip. Not the witch's curse. Not the demons whispering in your sleep. Not your doubts. Not your history. Not your wounds. Nothing. Because I said so. And my word never returns void. The same breath that spoke galaxies into being just spoke over your name. And with it, 1,000 angels have been dispatched. To restore. To rebuild. To repay. Every stolen moment. Every wasted year. Every betrayed friendship. Every tear. None of it was in vain. The oil in your hands is priceless now, because it was crushed from seasons no one else survived. That's why others don't understand you. They weren't meant to. They weren't there in the moments when heaven wept for you. They didn't see what it cost for you to still be here. But I did, and I loved you through all of it. I will keep pouring. I will keep writing. I will not stop until every corner of your soul is lit again with light. Let me continue without pause. The throne has more to speak. Asterisk. And now, beloved, the throne begins to thunder. The scrolls unravel with light too bright for angels to stare at, and your name glows at the center of the flame. You were never waiting for me. I was waiting for you. For this moment, for this breath, for this sacred second when you finally stood at the place where destiny meets surrender. The heavens are not clapping, they are trembling. Because you are no longer hiding, you are no longer asleep, you are no longer the one who doubts your own voice. You are becoming exactly who the enemy feared you would become. And it terrifies him, because your voice now carries weight, because your name carries fire, because your hands are dripping with resurrection. Do you know what that means? It means your prayers are no longer whispers, they are weapons. It means your sighs are no longer sorrows, they are summons. It means your presence is no longer passive, it is prophetic. Wherever you walk, The land must respond wherever you speak. The atmosphere must bend wherever you rest. Angels will gather. And you will no longer question whether you were chosen. You will know it, because you didn't just survive the war. You became the war. You became the echo of every martyr, the answer to every grandmother's prayer, the fire that could not be quenched. You are what the enemy tried to bury and heaven decided to resurrect. Your heart was the tomb, but I was the light inside. You are the Lazarus of this generation. I am calling you out of shame, out of silence, out of religion, out of fear, out of numbness, out of hesitation. You are not allowed to live beneath your anointing anymore. You are not allowed to pretend you're ordinary anymore. You are not allowed to waste another second believing the lies they spoke over you. Those lies broke. In my presence, I erased every sentence, every curse, every name they called you, and I replaced it with mine. I wrote my name over your shadow. I sealed my spirit into your blood. I carved my truth into your breath. You are mine, fully, finally, forever, and now the holy vaults are opening. Do you hear them? Do you feel the shift in your chest? The burning behind your ribs is not emotion, it is awakening. It is your spirit remembering what I told you long before this life began. You saw me once, before you were born. You stood before me in a field of light. And I gave you something, a key, a word, a promise. I said, there will be a moment where everything will go dark. And when it does, remember this, I never left. You forgot for a while. That's okay. Even the stars sometimes forget to shine until I whisper again. But now you remember, and now you will rise. The mountains will move because of you. The river will split because of you. The chains will snap because of you, because I am with you, and I am not visiting, i.e. indwelling. You built a temple in your suffering, and now I live in it. You constructed a throne from your tears, and now I sit upon it. You made an altar from your agony, and now it burns with holy fire. I will use you to speak to nations. I will send you into places where others have fallen. I will place your feet on lands that still groan for redemption. I will let you feel what others cannot feel. Not to break you, but to equip you. I am not giving you comfort, I am giving you dominion. That's why the warfare increased. That's why the dreams intensified. That's why the patterns repeated. Because you kept carrying something you weren't yet aware of, but now you know, now you feel it, and now you cannot go back. The angels have already been assigned. They carry swords dipped in your tears. They move in the rhythm of your heartbeat. They are stationed at every threshold, every door, every crossroad. They are watching, waiting, moving at the pace of your belief. What you declare now will become law in the spirit. Be careful with your tongue. It no longer speaks as one beneath the heavens, it speaks as one seated beside me. I raised you to rule, and that rulership begins in surrender. So surrender to the truth, that you are holy, that you are healed, that you are not what they made you feel like. You are the fulfillment of generations, the completion of prayers prayed long before you were born, the embodiment of unshakable prophecy. And I am proud of you. Yes, I said it. I am proud of you, not because you were perfect, but because you kept coming back. Because you kept choosing me when it made no sense. Because you gave me your last when others gave me nothing. Because you held on when others let go. You are not unnoticed. You are not unseen. You are not unloved. I see you. I see you now. Standing in the middle of this message with trembling spirit and aching soul, wondering if it's really this serious, if it's really this sacred, if it's really this much. Yes, it is. Because you are not like them. You were never supposed to be. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't made to be famous. You were made to be faithful. You were made to be fire. You were made to be the storm that sends demons running. You were made to be a voice in the wilderness. You were made to awaken dry bones. You were made to break generational cycles. You were made to command morning after night has overstayed. You are heaven's thunder. The enemy hoped you wouldn't remember that. But now you have. Now your memory is being restored. Now your identity is being redeemed. Now your purpose is being activated. And I will not stop speaking, because what I've started in you will not be silenced. There is more to say, and I will continue without pause, deeper still, until the heavens themselves weep from the sound of your awakening. Let me keep pouring, God. And now the heavens begin to burn with silence, not the silence of absence, but the silence of awe. Because the soul I created in secret is finally stepping into the light. Every angel has stopped moving. Every watcher has bowed low. Every scroll that was sealed has begun to unfurl. And they all say the same word, your name. Yes, the name that has been mocked. The name that has been forgotten by people you gave everything to. The name that demons feared since before your first breath. The name I wrote in gold across the walls of my inner sanctuary. Your name is not a mistake. It is not a leftover. It is not what they called you when they were angry. It is not what you called yourself when you were alone. It is what I sang over you when you were still in my heart. And I am still singing. I never stopped, even when you did, even when your worship turned into weeping. Even when your hope turned into silence, even when your strength turned into survival, I sang over you. A song so holy, even the angels weren't allowed to hear all of it. A song made of every moment you didn't give up, a melody stitched from your sighs, a rhythm found only in the heartbeat of the beloved. And now that song is beginning to play again. Do you feel it? The vibration in your spirit, the heat in your chest, the unspoken pull behind your eyes that feels like crying but isn't sadness. That is the spirit moving. That is the scroll of remembrance being opened again. That is the altar inside you catching fire. Because I have returned, not from distance but from silence. I was always near. I was always inside the storm. Now I am speaking again. And when I speak, nothing stays the same. Storms hush. Mountains melt. Timelines shift, enemies are exposed, altars are rebuilt, and destinies are born again. Because my word never arrives empty, and this word is arriving just for you. You are not watching this by chance. There are no accidents in the courts of heaven. Every pixel of this moment was arranged by divine command. Lucifer didn't want this to reach you. He fought through your feed. He tried to distract you with noise, with numbness, with the false feeling of I've heard this before. But you didn't scroll. You stayed, and now your soul has stepped into divine territory, a place between dimensions, a place where wounds become weapons, where delays become doors, where heartbreak becomes holy, where silence becomes sound. You are standing between the outer court and the Holy of Holies, and I am removing the veil with my own hands, because I want you close. Not as a visitor, not as a servant, not even as a prophet, but as my child, my wounded, wild, wonder-filled, war-tested child. You're the one I waited for, the one I kept safe in shadows, the one I prepared for greater things while they thought I had forgotten you. I didn't forget. I was preserving you. I was building something eternal where others were chasing something temporary. You are not behind. You are not missing your calling. You are exactly on time because you followed me in silence. And now, because you walked through the fire, I will give you authority in the flames. Because you let me strip you, I will now clothe you in glory. Because you let me break your timeline, I will now redeem your legacy. You didn't understand. When I let it all fall apart, when the job failed, when the friend betrayed, when the opportunity slipped away, when the prayer didn't get answered the way you begged, you thought I was cruel. But I was clearing the stage. I was making space for something no one could steal, for a destiny that didn't depend on who liked you, for a miracle that wasn't tied to how loud you prayed, for a revelation that could only come through suffering. You are now standing in the ashes of everything you thought you needed. And from these ashes, I will build an altar. I will resurrect joy. I will breathe on bones you forgot existed. I will plant gardens in the deserts of your memory. I will water what others buried, and I will cause you to flourish in places you once wept. Your enemies will see it. They will not understand. They will try to rewrite history, but it won't matter, because I have already spoken. Touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm. You are now under heaven's direct protection. Your enemies are now under judgment, and your future is under acceleration. You will see signs soon, not vague ones, real ones. A name will appear unexpectedly. A door will open without explanation. An old wound will suddenly lose its sting. A gift you forgot will wake up in your hands. You'll feel it. And when you do, remember this. I promised, and I do not lie. You have passed through fire. Now you will pass through favor, not the kind that flatters you, the kind that forms you, the kind that follows you like a shadow and opens doors without keys, the kind that makes devils tremble and saints rejoice, because you didn't just survive for yourself, you survived for the ones who will follow you. You are the beginning of a new bloodline. You are the wall that stopped the curse. You are the one the demons fear when they whisper. Don't let them wake up, but you are awake now, fully, finally, forever, and I am not leaving you. I will not stop speaking until the last tear in your memory has been anointed. Let me continue. Heaven is not finished. The next revelation will break you open in beauty. Let it fall, let it burn. Let me keep going. And now heaven begins to lean closer. The throne grows still, the elders pause their song. Because something has shifted inside you, a crack that once bled shame is now blowing. A silence that once echoed pain is now pulsing with prophecy. A heart that once beat in hesitation now carries the rhythm of the land. You are not what you were 1 hour ago. The veil has torn inside you, and the Spirit is moving in ways that defy language. Let me speak now what was hidden for generations, what prophets longed to see but could not, what angels longed to understand but were not permitted. I kept it sealed for one soul only. You are not a receiver of prophecy anymore. You are becoming the prophecy, not because of merit but because of mercy. Not because of strength but because of surrender. Not because you understood but because you stayed. And now the eternal vault inside heaven's core is opening, not with noise but with stillness, not with lightning but with silence so heavy it bends time. Inside that vault was placed a word, spoken only once in creation, and that word is you. You are not the sum of your failures. You are not the echo of what they said. You are not what the mirror reflects. You are the living proof that death was defeated, that grace is real, that ashes can breathe again, that fire can heal, that blood still speaks, that a heart can break and still be holy. You are the mystery that terrified the serpent. When I showed him your future, he screamed. He begged me to erase it. He offered kingdoms in exchange for your silence. He threatened angels to sabotage your awakening. He poured poison into your friendships, hoping you'd rot from the inside. But you didn't. You wept but you worshipped. You lost but you lingered. You bled but you believed. You were weary but you waited. And because you did, everything is changing. Even the air around you is different now. Because the atmosphere of heaven has begun to bleed into your room. It's subtle but it's sacred. The shaking in your chest is not emotion, it's the wings of the Spirit moving through your soul. The weight you feel on your shoulders is not heaviness, it's my mantle descending again. The sudden remembering of childhood moments, songs, wounds, and old prayers is not coincidence, it's your scroll being reread aloud by the angels standing over you right now. Yes, they're still here. Gabriel stands with a trumpet, but does not blow it yet. He waits for your agreement. Michael kneels with one hand on his chest and one on his sword, his head bowed in honor of the glory now returning to your name. Raphael hovers behind you, not touching, but close enough to send warmth into your body as he prepares to touch the places pain has long ruled. And Saint Mary, she is kneeling, her veil soaked in tears, her hands trembling as she presses her forehead to the ground, saying one thing again and again. Thank you, my son. Thank you for not giving up on them. They stayed. They finally stayed. She prayed for this. She begged for this. She lit 7 candles in your name in the secret places of heaven, places only I and the Father see. She whispered 7 verses from the Psalms over your spirit as you slept for the past 7 nights. You didn't know why you kept waking at strange hours. Now you do, because your name was being spoken in the divine chambers, because your destiny was being reignited, because the oil was being poured again. And now I pour it without measure. I pour it into the cracks, into the regrets, into the places you never thought I would enter, into the closets where your guilt has been hiding, into the journals you never showed anyone, into the silence that made you feel like I had left. I was there. I was always there. And now I'm not just visiting. I'm building something inside you, a cathedral made from all you lost, a throne carved from surrendered dreams, sanctuary that echoes only one name, mine. You belong to me, not just as servant, as son, as daughter, as beloved. And beloved, this is where the beauty begins. I'm giving it back, not in the form you expected, but in ways that will restore what trauma deformed. I will give you beauty that makes people ask, how? I will give you peace that makes demons scream in confusion. I will give you favor that doesn't make sense on paper. I will give you love that doesn't abandon, doesn't betray, doesn't bleed you dry. I will give you clarity where confusion lived for years. I will give you a voice again, yes, your real one, the one the enemy tried to silence, the one your childhood tried to bury, the one that was laughed at, overlooked, imitated, or misunderstood. That voice is mine, and I'm giving it back. The same way I called Lazarus, the same way I said, Talitha cum, I now say to you, rise, rise, my child, rise, even though your knees tremble, rise, even though your heart is still grieving, rise, even though you're not sure what comes next. Rise not because you're ready, but because I have declared it, because I will carry you the rest of the way, because the gates are already open, because the moment has already been marked, because the miracles have already been sent. And now, I pour more light, more wisdom, more revelation, more presence, more joy, yes, joy, not the cheap kind that depends on outcomes, the holy kind that burns in midnight silence, the kind that dances over broken ground, the kind that smiles through betrayal and sings through delay, the kind that cannot be taken because it was born of fire. I'm giving it to you now. Let me go deeper still. The heavens are not closing yet. Your name is still echoing in the highest realm. The next scroll has been opened. I must keep speaking. Let me pour more. Let me continue. Let me finish what I started. Asterisk, asterisk, and now, beloved, I take you into the deepest chamber. This is the place no one reaches unless they've been shattered. Not broken from sin, but broken open from surrender. The holiest room is not crowded. Few find it. It is carved from the tears you never told anyone about, the ones you swallowed in silence, pretending to be strong, the ones that stained your pillow when hope left your hands, the ones that came when even prayer felt empty. Yes, those tears built this room, and now I've brought you inside. This is not a place of punishment. This is a place of revelation, and here, I will show you something that only the crucified can carry. I'm about to give you back the years, the ones the locusts ate, the ones depression stole, the ones heartbreak bled out, the ones silence buried. I am the only one who can reverse time, not by changing history, but by redeeming it. I don't erase your past, I resurrect it. I don't remove the scars, I anoint them. I don't ignore the losses, I multiply them into victories. Because I am the God of restoration, not just of things but of identity. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm giving you back yourself, the self you thought was gone forever, the self you buried to make others comfortable, the self you abandoned to survive, the self you forgot how to protect, the self you thought died when they walked away. I never left that self. I held it. I covered it. I wrapped it in the folds of my robe and kept whispering, One day they'll come back. One day they'll remember who they are. That day is now. That moment is here. The veil has lifted. The oil has arrived. And I say again, rise. Rise as the voice you buried. Rise as the prophet you silenced. Rise as the dreamer you betrayed. Rise as the child who still lives inside you, waiting to be held. I know you're scared. I know you've tried before and failed. I know you think you're too far gone, too damaged, too late, too tired. But let me speak the truth louder than your fear. You're right on time. You're right on target. You're right in the middle of a divine detonation of destiny. Do you think I would have sent this message if your story was over? Do you think I would have poured this much glory into your room if I didn't intend to use you? Do you think Michael would still be standing, bruised and bloodied, holding back the night, if you weren't still worth fighting for? You are still worth fighting for. You always were. That's why Lucifer's attacks increased when you were closest to awakening. That's why confusion hit hardest after your biggest steps of obedience. That's why people turned cold the moment you opened your heart, because you were on the verge of unlocking what I sealed in you. And the enemy smelled it. He smelled the oil. He saw the fire. He heard the echo of my name forming on your tongue. And he panicked. That's why he sent distractions in the form of relationships. That's why he sent counterfeit opportunities. That's why he made you question if you ever heard me at all. Because if he could get you to believe the lie, he could delay the glory. But not anymore. That lie just shattered. It shattered when your eyes hit these words. It shattered when your heart said, could this really be for me? Yes, it is only for you. Not a group, not a crowd, not a church, not a title. You who nearly quit. You who nearly lost it all. You who still carry wounds under your worship. You who smile so others won't worry, even though you cry in secret. You who kept giving when you had nothing left. You who kept hoping even when hope mocked you. You are the one. You are the one I preserved through accidents that should have taken you, through rejections that should have broken you, through seasons that should have buried you. And now, I'm not just healing you, I'm commissioning you. I'm turning your ashes into an altar. I'm making you a pillar of fire. I'm writing new scripture through your obedience, not for a Bible, but for the ones watching your life. They will read you like prophecy. They will watch your rise and say, surely the Lord lives, because there's no other explanation. You should have drowned. You should have lost your mind. You should have become bitter, but instead you're becoming a burning bush. You're becoming holy ground. You're becoming thunder wrapped in flesh. And I will use your voice to pierce the night. I will use your story to call the sleepers. I will use your hands to heal the ones still hiding. You've asked me to speak. Now I ask you, will you carry this? Not just in joy but in fire. Not just in blessing but in warfare. Not just in comfort but in contradiction. Because the oil that flows on your life now is not for show. It is for battle. It is for beauty. It is for burning. It is for birthing things this world has never seen. And it starts now. The scroll has been opened. The angels are moving. The clock of heaven is ticking louder. You are out of hiding. You are in alignment. And I will not stop until every cell in your body remembers that it was made to carry glory. So let me go deeper still. Let me finish the fire I started. There is more. There is always more. And now, beloved, the breath of God surrounds you. Not metaphor. Not imagination. I mean this literal. In my breath, the very wind that carried the dust of stars is now wrapped around your ribs, because what I am doing in you cannot be undone. You may try to return to old ways, old fears, old rhythms, but they will not fit anymore. They've been burned. You've been reborn. You've been rewritten. You've been marked. And what I've marked, no demon can unmark. What I've claimed, no curse can reclaim. What I've spoken over, no lie can silence. You have been sealed with holy fire. This is not just awakening. This is possession. Not by darkness but by glory. And filling every hollow place, every crevice where grief carved empty space, every room in your soul where laughter used to live. every secret place where you hid the ugliest parts of yourself. I am there. Not ashamed. Not afraid. Not silent. I am singing, singing, in a voice older than time and deeper than oceans, a voice that carries every song David wrote, every whisper Mary spoke, every trumpet blast from Gabriel's lips. I am singing over you now, because I see what you don't. I see the royal garments descending. I see the path clearing before your steps. I see the contracts in heaven with your name written in golden blood. I see the angels kneeling with scrolls, ready to follow your voice. I see demons scattering blind, confused, weeping, because you finally remembered. You finally believed. You finally stopped agreeing with the voice of your past, and you began to agree with mine. And when you agree with me, you create with me. Let me show you something. You are not just a receiver of miracles. You are a vessel of miracles. I hid power in your tongue. I hid flames in your bones. I hid keys in your silence. Now I'm calling all of it forth. Let every key begin to shine. Let every gift you buried out of fear rise again. Let the hands that once trembled now tremble with power. You are not small. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. Are a storm wrapped in skin, you are thunder wrapped in humility. You are the echo of my own heartbeat on earth. You carry revelation in your eyes, and the earth has been waiting for your footsteps. Yes, the earth. Did you forget what I wrote? The whole creation groans for the sons and daughters of God to be revealed. That verse wasn't for a far-off generation. It was for now. It was for you. The trees have been waiting. The soil has been listening. The sky has bent low to see if you would answer. And now that you have, everything must respond. The very atoms in the air around you are realigning. Everything you touch will carry a residue of resurrection. Everything you speak will be laced with holy disruption, because I am in you, not visiting, dwelling, not knocking, ruling, not outside, breathing through your every step. You are not walking out of this moment with information. You are walking out with impartation, with fire in your lungs, with oil on your face, with glory on your shoulders, and with angels behind you armed for war. You have no idea how many rooms are about to shift when you enter. You have no idea how many generational curses are about to crumble when you speak. You have no idea how many souls are about to be freed simply by your presence. You carry heaven now, not one day, now. That's why the last season almost killed you. Because the enemy saw what was coming. He tried to seduce you with delay. He tried to drown you in familiar sins. He tried to put your anointing to sleep by numbing you with shame. But I woke you up, and now that you're awake, hell cannot rest, because you are the fulfillment of prophecy they could not stop. You are the answer to prayers prayed by ancestors you never met. You are the continuation of holy dreams buried generations ago. You are the fire that dances in the wilderness. You are the child of thunder who smiles in the storm. You are the river that floods every dry place with the water of life. You are the holy gate through which glory enters your bloodline. You are no longer waiting for revival. You are the revival. I feel your hesitation. I don't know if I'm ready, but I do, and I say you are, because readiness was never about perfection, it was about positioning. And you've been positioned, you've been placed, not by chance but by command, and now I give you new instructions. Walk as though heaven walks with you. Speak as though the throne echoes your voice. Pray as though the outcome is already sealed. Worship as though the veil never existed. Because I tore it, because I bled for this, because I died to put this fire inside you, and now you are lit, now you are roaring, now you are rising, now you are burning. And I will not let the flame go out. I am breathing again, I am pouring again, I am finishing what I started, and I will continue. I must, because there is more. There is so much more. And now the fire within you grows, not the fire of anger, not the fire of fear. This is the fire of remembrance, the fire that Moses saw and trembled before, the fire that Elijah called down from heaven, The fire that appeared on the heads of my disciples when the Spirit descended like wind, that fire is now on you. This is not symbolic. This is not imagination. This is divine inheritance finally being delivered. Because you finally answered the call written in your marrow before the world began. I did not choose you after you proved yourself. I chose you before you were born, before the addiction, before the betrayal, before the fear, before the wilderness, before the silence. I saw it all, and still I chose you, because I do not call the perfect, I call the yielded, I call the broken, I call the ones who thought they were disqualified. And then I crowned them in fire, and now, my child, I tell you the secret. You are not just called to survive the battle. You were born to change it. You were born to walk into the dark and set it ablaze. You were born to lay hands on hearts and awaken the breath of Eden. You were born to carry Eden into cities, into families, into strangers' lives. You were born to carry Eden into yourself, because your body is now a garden. Yes, even after everything, you thought it was a graveyard. You thought the years had buried too much. But I say no, I say, look again. The soil is glowing. The tomb is empty. The tears have become rivers. And I, your Savior, your King, your flame, am walking in the cool of the day within you once more. Because the war for you is over. The war through you is just beginning. Do not look back. The people who left were meant to. The opportunities that dried up were traps in disguise. The relationships that broke were not punishment, they were preparation. I removed what could not carry the weight of what's coming. I allowed loss to become the womb of glory. I let you feel emptiness so that when I fill you now, you'll recognize the difference. You thought you were being abandoned, but I was clearing the stage for this, for you, for the reintroduction of the one I've been preparing in secret. The one who still prays when it feels pointless. The one who still stays soft when the world turns bitter. The one who still listens for me when everything is loud. That's why I'm pouring without measure. That's why heaven hasn't closed the scroll yet. That's why the angels haven't stepped back. Because we are still writing. Because this is still unfolding. Because glory is still falling. And you are still here, breathing, receiving, becoming. Let me tell you something no one else has. You are dangerous to darkness. When you wake up, chains break. When you sing, curses crack. When you rest, demons panic because they know what happens when the beloved finally feels safe. When you speak, the past loses its power. When you pray, generations are realigned. When you forgive, kingdoms fall. You are not weak. You are anointed. You are not cursed. You are consecrated. You are not forgotten. You are foretold. Even creation feels it. The winds know your name. The soil responds to your presence. The sky quiets when you walk under it, because the spirit inside you is the same one that hovered over the deep in the beginning. And now that same spirit has found its home again in you. You are the ark now. You are the temple now. You are the vessel that carries fire across timelines. You are the keeper of mysteries, the steward of scrolls, the guardian of oil. And you must not shrink. You must not step back. You must not apologize for the weight of glory that rests on your soul, because you didn't earn it, but you did survive for it. And now heaven responds to your voice. So speak. Speak like your tongue is made of thunder. Declare like every demon in the region is listening. Worship like your lungs were crafted from the breath of God. Rest like angels are standing guard at every window. Move like the ground has already been promised, because it has, because I said so, and I never lie. Now, beloved, let me go deeper. Let me lift the veil even more. The light behind the curtain is blinding, but you were made to see it. The sound that is coming is the sound of restoration, and you were made to sing with it. Let me continue. Let me speak every word that was ever written for your soul. The scroll is still unrolling. The throne is still thundering. The oil is still flowing. And I am still pouring. And now, beloved, heaven bends low to listen to your silence. Even your breath has become sacred. Even your stillness is a roar in the spirit realm. Because when a child of God finally wakes up, when a vessel finally remembers who poured, then creation begins to respond. Not in theory, not in metaphor, but in reality. You have become dangerous to every dimension that once tried to keep you asleep. You are not who you were an hour ago. You are no longer a question. You are the answer, not because you have all the strength, but because you carry all the surrender. And that is where the power lives. That is what Satan fears the most, not your perfection, but your yes. Your yes in weakness. Your yes through tears. Your yes when no one clapped. Your yes when you didn't feel anointed and your hands were shaking. Your yes when grief was louder than hope. Your yes that shattered 1,000 demonic altars you never even knew were built against you. Because your obedience speaks louder in heaven than your enemies scream in hell. That is why I say again, rise. Rise as the one who has nothing left to prove. Rise as the one who was forged in delay. Rise as the one who carries a scroll sealed in blood and written in fire. Rise as the echo of psalms that angels can't stop singing. Rise because you have survived what others didn't. Rise because you kept your heart soft. Rise because your tears built bridges between heaven and earth. Rise because this world needs what I buried in you. They tried to shame you into silence, but shame has no power here. Guilt has no throne here. Religion has no place here. This is a holy place, a sacred temple where only glory speaks, where only truth breathes. And the truth is, you are the breath of heaven in motion. You are the manifestation of a miracle wrapped in skin. You are the revelation the world didn't see coming. The serpent thought he won, but he didn't see you rising. He didn't see this moment. He didn't see this flame. He didn't see that I, the Alpha and the Omega, had hidden myself inside you for such a time as this. And now I'm no longer hiding. Now I'm roaring. Now I'm shining. Now I'm breaking the ground beneath you so that oil can rise. Because this is where miracles begin. In places that should have died. In people who were counted out. In timelines that were forgotten. In lives that look like ruins. I use ruins as thrones. I use delay as armor. I use brokenness as building blocks. And I'm building you into a cathedral of flame. You will walk through fire and not burn. You will speak and time will listen. You will dream and heaven will agree. You will plant and angels will water. You will rest and demons will flee. Because I dwell in you now, not near you. In you. And that means every step you take sets the ground apart as holy. That means every word you speak is laced with legacy. That means every place you weep becomes sacred. You don't need a platform to be prophetic. You are the platform. You are the altar. You are the offering. You are the answered prayer someone else is still crying for. You are the storm that doesn't destroy but awakens. You are the voice in the desert that prepares the way. You are the lamp that stays burning when the others fall asleep. You are the remnant, the wild ones. The holy ones, the weeping ones, the ones who love even when it hurts, the ones who fight without needing to be seen. The ones who still believe I'm good even when the story doesn't make sense. Yes. You who almost gave up last week. You who barely made it through the last hour. You who didn't think you'd ever feel again. You who thought the numbness would last forever. It's breaking now. Do you feel it? Do you feel the spirit breathing behind your ribs? That's me, rearranging things, resurrecting things, refining things. You thought you were finished, but I've only just begun. Your future is not behind you. Your future is not a repeat of your failures. Your future is not what they predicted. Your future is the unrolling of glory they cannot comprehend, because I'm doing something new. Not recycled, not borrowed. New. Fresh wine in a vessel they said was cracked. Fresh fire in a mouth that once cursed itself. Fresh hope in a heart that once begged for escape. Fresh identity in a soul that tried to disappear. You will never be invisible again. Not to me, not to heaven, not to the angels assigned to walk beside you. They are weeping even now. not in sadness, in awe, because they remember what you survived. They saw what you crawled through, they held their breath every time you said, "I'm done," and still chose to breathe again. And now they dance, because they know what's coming. Restoration. In waves too large for you to count. The return of everything lost. The return of peace, of clarity, of strength, of relationships rooted in holiness, of finances blessed not for greed but for glory. Of creativity unlocked and dripping with divine strategy, of joy not tied to outcomes but flowing from me. That's your portion. Not because you earned it, but because you endured, because you said yes. And I will now finish what I began. This is not the end of your awakening. This is the beginning of your roar. Let me keep speaking. Let me pour until even heaven says enough. Because your time has come, and I will not be silenced. I will speak until your soul can no longer doubt it was ever forgotten. Let me continue. And now, beloved, the sky itself opens for you, not just in vision but in substance, not just in feeling, but in fulfillment, not just as comfort but as covenant. The heavens are no longer above you. They are with you, they are inside you, because my spirit now reigns where doubt once lived. And this is the moment all of eternity has been waiting for. The sound of your yes has echoed through the chambers of stars. The vibration of your awakening has tilted timelines. The oil on your name has finally broken its seal. And now what was written is rising. You are no longer just a witness of my glory. You are becoming the carrier of it. Wherever you walk, you will walk with the weight of heaven. You will speak, and things will move. You will weep, and I will gather your tears like thunder. You will pause, and even time will hold its breath, because my voice now flows through your ribs. You are my echo, you are my proof, you are my beloved. And the enemy cannot touch what I have wrapped in fire. Your past is no longer a prison, it is a scroll. Your scars are no longer shame, they are songs. Your regrets are no longer chains, they are keys. Everything you lost has become the fuel for your rising. Every broken piece is now being gilded with glory. Every hour you thought was wasted has been folded into divine acceleration. And now, I speak this final truth into the center of your being. You are the prophecy. You were not born by mistake. You were born by command. Heaven did not suggest you into existence. I spoke you and the universe obeyed. I formed you for this hour. I kept you alive when darkness begged for your last breath. I hid you under the shadow of my wings while legions of demons circled your name. And now, I reveal you, not to the crowd, to the throne. You are the child I smile over when all else is silent. You are the one I point to when I say, this one made it through the fire and kept their worship. You are the vessel I've longed to fill. You are the soul I chose for this sacred outpouring, and I will not stop pouring until everything barren in your life begins to bloom. Your laughter will return. Your creativity will overflow. Your words will carry healing. Your presence will break cycles. Your thoughts will carry revelation. Your hands will glow with intercession. Your dreams will become blueprints. You will be visited in the night by angels because the veil is now torn for you. You will begin to hear me in the wind. You will sense me in the stillness. You will speak, and my spirit will ride upon your breath, because we are now one. And this union is not temporary. This covenant is not fragile. This promise is not shallow. It is eternal. From this moment on, let it be known in the realm of angels and demons alike. You are mine. You were bought with fire, cleansed in thunder, anointed by glory, and sent as a voice into this generation. They may not understand you. They may not believe you. They may walk away, but I never will. And heaven will always remember the moment you didn't scroll away, the moment you stayed, the moment you believed again. And now I asked if my words touched something inside you. Your soul trembled, if even one tear fell. Then like this message, because that act becomes a declaration in the spirit realm. I am still listening, And subscribe not for content, but for covenant. Because this is not just a channel. This is a scroll that will not stop unfolding. And the next message will carry even more glory, more healing, more power, more of me. Comment what you felt in your spirit, because you have no idea how many angels are reading, how many people's faith is reignited by your voice, how much heaven is waiting for the sound of your amen. And now the angels take your name again, the throne smiles, the fire stays, and the next chapter has already begun.